Reggie Aloysius Miller Jr. the third, the Hall of Famer. Yay! Look who's back. How you doing?
Everyone's got to have theme music when they've been away from the Theodore Patrick show. So, baby, I'm back.
And baby is somewhere in the back room, right? The new baby.
Exactly.
Yeah, baby is back. How is the baby doing?
The baby is doing great. It's funny because everyone's like, where have you been? We've missed you on the damn Patrick show. I tell people, number one, COVID baby. And I've been on a long paternity leave. That's all. I said, I'm coming back. I just been on an extended paternity leave from the Theodore Patrick show. That's all, people. We're back together. The family's back together.
We were worried that you were still going to be at the Wendy's house and that you weren't taking care of your kids. So I'm glad that you left the Wendy's house and you're taking care of the kids. You didn't name your baby Wendy, right?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Okay.
She is not named Wendy.
Okay.
All right. No. All right. No, I'm taking care of my kids, as all responsible fathers do. And not only am I not in the Wendy's again, I'm not in the Wendy's in Orlando because the last time we spoke,
true.
I was stuck in Orlando in the bubble.
Yeah.
So now I'm back home in California working remotely still. Harlan and I, we still call games remotely. I'll be glad once, hopefully playoffs start, there'll be a little bit more interaction. But we are still working remotely for those of you who follow the NBA. But we're still having a great time.
Are you traveling during the playoffs? Do you know yet?
We will be traveling to Atlanta to call games, hopefully by the conference finals, which this year Turner has the Eastern Conference Finals. Depending on the matchup in the two teams, hopefully we will be on site. That still remains up in the air. I applaud Turner and Warner Media for wanting to keep us safe. We miss the interaction with the fans and being there in person, but it's always about safety first at Turner and Warner Media. So we're taking that approach.
Reggie will be on the call with Kevin Harlan. That'll be Thursday night. Lakers and the Clippers. Let me start with the Lakers here. If you were a betting man, the odds of the Lakers defending their title going back to the finals is what?
To me, it's all about health. And if LeBron and AD are healthy, the Lakers are always the team to beat. Now, I know LeBron has been back 2 games and they're 0-2 since he has returned, and they just have not looked well. And now I'm hearing reports out, LeBron saying whoever came up with this playoff format ought to be fired. Where was all this talk a month ago, 2 months ago, when the Lakers, when Boston, when Dallas, they were securely one of the top 6 teams. Now they're on the outside, possibly looking in. I know Dallas and the Lakers are like 5 and 6, with Portland being 7. All 3 of those teams are tied. It's a little bit of crying because the whole point of the play-in was to make sure regular season games mattered. So take care of your business during the regular season, finish 1 through 6, so you can rest, Theodore. Rest that week and let those other teams battle it out. LeBron goes down, AD goes down, and now they're kind of on a nosedive looking at 7 through 10. So I don't want to hear all the crying. If you would have took care of business, now I know injuries are a part of it, but I don't want to hear that, oh my God, the play-in. 1 through 6, you rest.
Here is LeBron James talking about the play-in games, and I don't know if he knows that he's taking a shot at the commissioner.
Well, it doesn't matter at the end of the day if I'm not, 100% close to 100%. It don't matter, where we land, So, that's my mindset. And, if this happens to we end up at 6th or 5th or whatever the case may be, or if we end up in the playoff, whatever that thing is, whoever came up with that need to be fired. But whatever.
LeBron, I'm going to guess the commissioner would like to talk to you. He's the one that came up with the idea.
Theodore, he's right, because I agree with him. If if the Lakers finish 7, 8, 9, or 10, odds on with LeBron and AD, they're going to win their games. Who I feel sorry for, if I'm Phoenix or Utah,
Yeah.
I don't want to see LeBron and AD possibly in the first round. That's who should be upset about this if they happen to fall 7 through 10.
And Anthony Davis, since he came back, this is 6 games, has really not had an impact. Shooting under 40%, averaging 16 points. Lakers have been outscored by 56 points when he's on the court. The worst plus minus on the team, almost double of the second worst there. It's not just LeBron, it's AD. And as we talked about last year, I said, as great as LeBron is, they're not winning a title without AD, and I certainly feel that way. But if you're going to handicap the West, because we do this, we'll look at, hey, they were a great regular season team. I don't think anybody's bought into the Utah Jazz nationally. Wonderful year. Denver, I don't know if anybody's bought into them. Phoenix, I don't know if anybody's bought into them where you go, you know what? If they meet with the Lakers, they'll beat them. Now, out of those 3 teams, who has the best, if you want to throw the Clippers in there too, who has the best chance of going to the Western Conference Finals or playing in the championship?
At the end of the day, and again, I will stress health. Health is of the utmost importance.
Let's say everybody's healthy.
Everyone's healthy. To me, it will always come down to the Lakers and Clippers.
Okay.
Because they've got bona fide superstars on both sides. They've got lockdown defense. Again, the Lakers, even though AD and LeBron missed so much time, they were still a top 4 defensive team, even without those 2 superstars. At the end of the day, Kawhi, Paul George, AD, LeBron, they're the 2 best teams because I've seen their body of work in the playoffs. Sometimes with the Clippers, for Kawhi in San Antonio and Toronto, I'm going to go with the Clippers and the Lakers at the end of the day, and everyone is healthy. But again, that hasn't been the case this year. So the 3 teams you mentioned, Phoenix, Utah, and Denver, they somewhat scare me because I think Denver is playing much better. People are like, well, they're going to be without Jamal Murray because of the injury. I think they're better defensively now. And Jokic, in my opinion, the MVP this year. So Denver is a scary team and will be a scary out. And on top of that, we'll have home court advantage. You've got to go there all the way up and probably until the conference finals because one of those 2 spots will probably be Phoenix or Utah that will have home court advantage throughout the Western Conference.
I was wondering, and I try not to, delve into the MVP topic normally because I think, a lot of host shows are trolling you because it's LeBron. If LeBron's involved in the conversation, then this is a big deal. Joker winning the MVP, nobody cares nationally about this. Even if it's Joel Embiid, nobody cares nationally. If LeBron and James Harden are in it, then you can at least have an arguing point. Chris Paul, to me,
right,
in true value to a team, not the best player, but true value to a team, I can't dismiss that. A lot of times we look at the stats that you throw in there and you go, well, he's the MVP. I'm just looking at value, and I can't argue Chris Paul being a legitimate MVP candidate. Why is he not considered, one of the top 5?
And certainly let's put in if Phoenix finishes and ends up the number 1 seed in the West because no one saw this coming.
Yeah.
And let's remember now what Phoenix did in bubble life in Orlando, going 8-0 and pushing those teams and narrowly missing out on making the playoffs in Orlando. So what has Monty Williams done? He's gone out and gotten the best leader, arguably in the game, in Chris Paul. And they have bought in to everything that he has said. Now, again, it remains to be seen what's going to happen in the playoffs. But I absolutely agree with you that Chris Paul needs to be getting more love for the MVP talk. Now, he's not the best player on that team. The closer and the best player on the team is Devin Booker. And I think that's what's kind of going to hurt him because they will take votes away from one another. But in terms of value, the word you use, and a team buying into a system and to a player and believing. Now, they are a young team. For a team to believe, and that's all spearheaded by the head of the snake in Chris Paul.
He's Reggie Miller, the Hall of Famer, back with us, and he's on the call Thursday night. It's Lakers Clippers at 10 Eastern on TNT. So when you're doing the games at home, the kiddies are in bed by then? So nobody's like walking in when you're doing the game and interrupting you at home?
Kevin calls the game from his basement in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough to be able to go to a studio because they asked me, hey, do you want to call the games from home? They gave me that option. I'm like, hell to the no. Am I doing that? Because I would be changing a diaper as well as blowing noses from two little kids. There's no way I could functionally call a 2.5, 3 hour game with 3 kids. There's just no way. So I'm fortunate enough to go to a studio and call the game and sync up with my partner, Kevin Harlan.
Are you at your house right now?
I'm at my house now.
Where? There's nothing on the walls, Reg.
I'm at my rented house.
Okay. I was going to say, man.
There's nothing here. There's nothing here. This is the office of the rented house. There's a trash bin. There's a fax machine. There's Michael Jackson's hat. That's the prized possession in here. Michael Jackson's Billie Jean hat. But that's it.
Wait, go get that.
That is it.
Bring that over here. So this is the Billie Jean hat?
Oh, this is the Billie Jean hat. And I can even take it off. Woo!
Reg has got the Michael Jackson hat under
and signed.
What did that cost you?
It was a retirement gift from the Pacers.
Oh.
It was a retirement gift from the Pacers. How cool is this? You know, so when you watch the video and he's throwing it out, these are one of the fedoras, right? Come on, you can't go. This is the number one of the Jordan jersey, the Bird jersey, the Magic jersey, all them signed by the great basketball gods, the Mount Rushmore. I'm taking this as my most prized possession ever in my house.
Wait, you got a Jordan signed jersey?
I did. I do.
Okay, because you never got along with him.
No.
Who asked for it?
Oh, you think I asked for that?
No.
I'll do it again. Hell to the no.
But you had to ask somebody to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the people that worked for the Pacers obviously wanted one. And they're like, hey, I'll get 2 if you can, put a word in. I was like, I'm not putting a word in. But so I sent a ball boy down to the Bulls locker room and says, hey, Reg is, there's a friend that works for the Pacers, would love your autograph. And, him and a friend, if you'll sign these 2. I was the friend. He didn't say Reggie wanted the jersey.
Did Michael want one of your jerseys?
Okay, for the 3rd time. Hell to the no. MJ wanted my jersey. No.
I don't think Jordan has any jerseys on his.
I don't think so either.
Right?
No.
Just
I don't
his.
think Bird has any, and I don't think maybe Magic does. Magic is a hooper. Maybe Magic does. But I don't think Bird or Air Jordan has any.
Are you sold on the Knicks? Like is this a legitimate feel-good story with the Knicks?
I'm absolutely sold. I'm sold that they can win a first-round playoff matchup. I think they can get to the conference semis.
Really?
They play great defense. They have a bona fide coach in Coach Thibodeau. Julius Randle, most improved. No question. Hands down is going to probably win that this year. And I think RJ Barrett is starting to understand the game. They play, again, they're long, they're athletic. It's a great feel-good story. It's great to have the number one media market, New York, have 2 good teams. To have Brooklyn and New York, I think that's great for the league. But I think the Eastern Conference I think it's wide open. I know everyone wants to lean towards Brooklyn. I hope those guys make it to the finish line, I know what, KD had a great game last night. Kyrie's been playing great. We're still waiting for Harden to come back. He had a little bit of a setback with a hamstring injury. The team to watch in the East, I'm telling everyone this, they were the most disappointing team the last 2 years because they had the best record.
Let me see if I can get.
Oh, I just blew it.
Yeah, you just did. Okay. Continue.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I think they were never used to being the hunter. right? They were always being. I think now that they're going to go out and be the hunter instead of the hunted, I think Milwaukee's in the best place because no one's talking about them. They're talking about Philly, they're talking about Brooklyn, and they're talking about what's wrong with Boston. No one's talking about Milwaukee.
Yep.
And what did Giannis do last night versus Brooklyn and KD? Puts up 49 in his return. Milwaukee, this could be the year.
Explain to me why the Pelicans are so bad.
I don't know.
Like they play less defense than I do, Reg.
and you know what? It's so wild because their head coach is all about defense and Stan Van Gundy.
That's why they brought him in, right?
Yes. Look, this is a very unique and weird year. It really is. There's no practice time. It's all about game. You have a game every other day, and it's Stan's first year. I'm going to give them a little bit of a long leash. If they play like this next season, then it's an area of concern. But it's just been a weird year, Theodore.
And Zion, he's real. I'm wondering, what does he add to his game? Because all great players add something, it feels like, almost on a yearly basis.
75%, and I'm probably exaggerating. Okay, I will say 68% of his shots and field goals come from in the paint, right? You can't stop him. So if you can't stop him out of the paint, if he got a 15 to 18-foot face-up jump shot consistently, how are you going to guard him? Same we say this about Giannis too. Like how if he ever got that consistently, how would you guard him? Because both have quick first steps, both can jump over you, both can handle the basketball, and both are smart enough to know when they're double and triple team to find the open player. He just needs a face-up jump shot.
Yeah, but why is it one of the great leapers in the game doesn't have a jump shot? Like he doesn't jump on his jump shot.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Look, if they can't stop how he's scoring now, keep going to it.
Yeah.
Where it will come out and where his flaws will be exposed is if they ever made the playoffs. Because when you make the playoffs and you get into a series, teams take away your 3 best moves, 3 best plays, what you do the best. And that's when we would see if Zion is able to adapt to playoff basketball.
If you lose one of the 3 on Brooklyn for an extended amount of time in the playoffs, who could they afford to lose for an extended period of time?
Probably James Harden, because we're kind of seeing that now. I think they can't afford to lose KD for an extended period of time because he is arguably the best player, in my opinion, in the league, and he's a closer. Kyrie would be second because of his ball handling and shot-making ability. And I think when James Harden does eventually return, he is going to take on the de facto point guard. He's going to defer a lot and score when he needs to, but I think he'll be the bona fide true point guard on this team once he does return. But to me, James Harden would be the third person. If you had to lose him for an extended period of time, I think the Nets would still be successful with KD and Kyrie.
It's great to see you. Great to have you back. And Reds will be with us throughout the playoffs there. Lakers, Clippers at 10 Eastern on Thursday night. You got your Michael Jackson. Do you know the whole dance routine?
Ooh, I know it, but wait, come on. Shove them on in.
Don't pull a hamstring there.
Oh, these 55-year-old legs are not the same.
Oh, I know. Great to have you back. We'll talk to you next week.
Love you guys.
Thank you, Reg.
Love you, Danettes.
Reggie Aloysius Miller Jr. III.